And then we are live. Hello. I don't know if anyone is going to be joining us today because the Tudor long has gone on for a whole year.
I know, it's mad.
Can you believe we've done it a year?
I'm quite impressed that we've made it a year, to be fair.
I can't impress
Even
neither of
though
us have
this
given
last
up.
book, I did finish it like 3 days late, but
You finished it?
I
It's
still finished
technically like not much late. I finished it early, but I must admit, even though it was a reread, I was like, oh my god, I'm done now.
Yeah, I
Everyone's
definitely
going
feel
on at the
cheated
next one.
out. I definitely
Yeah.
feel cheated out.
I must admit, I don't think there's any Tudor books I'm going to be reading. I've got some like um Alison Jean Clady's on my shelves, and I'm going, do I just get them off the shelves and read them, or have I completely killed myself off with Tudors?
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
wait a few months.
I will go back to it, but I just feel like I've had too much of it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a series I probably will be leaving alone for a good while. Hi,
Oh,
Lindsay.
Lynn!
We made it to the end of our series. Yay, she did.
We did it with our heads on
We
our
did
shoulders.
it. Just,
We
yeah,
did.
we're alive. None of the others survived, but we're alive. We did it. She was one of the ones that's been, at least Lynn's been with us since the start. So
Oh,
I think
Lynn's lovely.
even our Waffle girls gave up in the end, didn't they?
They did. They did.
Um,
So
Alice gave up. Ange gave up.
yeah.
I think it
So to
might
be
have
fair, I
been.
think I probably would have given up had I not been hosting.
Yeah,
Or not
even
given
I
up.
was
I
like,
would have left like a bigger gap between the books.
oh, Alice. She divorced the series. Yeah, we knew Alice was going to divorce it, but she's joined us for the last live. Thank you, Alice.
Oh dear.
She's one of
Yes.
the best, isn't she? At least we got our loyal people that kept even coming up to the lives.
I do think some of the
But
problem with the series was there was so much repetition, like particularly in like the first half of the books, it was a lot of repeated facts, and I think that then didn't lend itself to reading it like one after the other in a series in the
yeah,
way
I
that we
don't think
did.
you can. I think it was just too much. Like I didn't do it that way when I read it originally. I think now I definitely know why.
Yeah,
Alice is saying off with her head. Yes. Well, no, we'd
yes.
never have off with your head.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, you would, but you're the evil one. We already know this, Joe.
Oh dear.
Oh God. So we have got some points. I was going to do banners, but like Joe is, we are all quite tired. Even though it's Monday, we're still tired. Bear in mind, my Monday isn't your Monday. She rounded the series up with a new book on Henry. Oh, what's that one out? What's that one then that you've read? I made it through
Oh,
four
it's the
books, which she
new.
said to
That's
me.
the new Alison Ware one, the one that came out recently.
Yeah, the
Um,
Henry one. I haven't read the Henry one, but I've got the Elizabeth one on my shelves.
Lynn, was it really repetitive? Like having read like the Six Tudor Queens, did you find it was really repetitive, or did it give you a new angle on it?
Oh, she read The Heart and the Crown. Yes, is it good? I must admit. So Alice made it through four books, which is how much she likes us. Yes, that's loyalty to Alice.
That is because
Charlie's
she
popped on just
she
to
didn't
say
like
that.
many of them.
No, she
Oh, hi
didn't.
Charlie.
Heart and the Crown. And then since Heart and the Crown. Yes, is it worth me getting that, or do I just wait until it comes out in paperback? Because I've got one in paperback, so I should really wait, shouldn't I? I should wait.
Yeah,
I've got to
I feel
keep
like
them the same.
I feel like you need a break from
Yeah, I definitely
Henry.
do. I've got a non-fiction book that I was going to read at the start, and I was like, go on. At the start, we actually wanted Henry's perspective. We did say that. We did say,
And I
Alice,
think
that
I
we
would
wanted
still
Henry's
like to
perspective.
read it, but like in 2 or 3 years' time.
Yeah, I might wait. I might wait. Oh, it was kind of repetitive. So Charlie's saying wait, and Lynn's saying it's repetitive. It was still banging on about his great mother. Oh, his great
It's
master.
great
Oh, no,
woman.
not his great master.
Um,
Oh, that was funny, that was,
we
wasn't
definitely
it?
don't need to read the words Henry's great matter for at least 12 months.
Yeah, but because especially seeing as it got a bit in this book, it got a bit sort of put down a bit, like it wasn't so much of a great matter in the latter years.
Mm,
He could barely do anything with it.
indeed.
The great matter. Oh God. So we have got Katherine Parr, and we're talking. So bear with us on this. live because me and Jem are having to remember everything we've read, and I read it about a month or so ago, so I've really got to try and remember, and my brain is gone at the moment. So first of all, she was married to Edward. But what did you say his name was?
I can't remember. We literally just said it. Hang on. Let me get Edward Bear.
Edward Burr. Yes, and he was a very young. They were very young. She was married to him very young.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very much of a forced marriage, and she did not want to. She didn't want to leave her uncle, did she? She really wasn't. She found a new
she was
home
very
really with her
happy, wasn't she? She was happy in her family life.
Yeah, and she hadn't had the best start really, because obviously she sort of got a very different relationship with her siblings and stuff, and she was close to one or two of them, wasn't she? And then she obviously found a new home really with her cousins and her aunt and uncle, and then to get
so she was
torn
17.
away.
She was 17 when she married Edward.
Yeah, that was one of the younger ones, but that still at the time that was actually quite old considering what they were, how young some people were getting married at that age. And, and then he was one that couldn't get it up.
Well, I think he could, but just not for women.
Yes, exactly. That was there was definite but that was a thing. You felt for them. Back then it was very hard, wasn't it? You didn't want women, you were forced into marriage.
He was portrayed as like a really nice guy, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
He wasn't cruel to Catherine.
No.
But he was gay, so
he didn't fancy her, so there was nothing he could do about it, and he felt that he should do more.
He did try and do his duty.
Right, Alice said, "I'm very sad to not know about Katherine Howard." Well, at some point you can read the books, Alice. Just maybe not rush at the moment. Wait until you're ready.
Yeah.
I think Katherine Howard
was interesting women in history. Katherine Parr, I think, was quite interesting.
I definitely preferred her to Katherine Howard, but we'll go to that at the end.
I think she was quite clever, Katherine Parr, in the end.
Very, very, very. But again, it was the women were getting forced into doing stuff in these books. It was like, annoying the hell out of me.
It was the time, though, wasn't it? All women were subjected to the will of men. I don't think I can face it.
We're not surprised. Just ask us any facts you need. Don't worry, we'll understand. We're not sort of partial on it. But so she got forced into being with Edward, and then he was very weak health-wise, wasn't he? As well as the fact that he'd been pushed into marriage when he didn't want it. But
yeah, so
he didn't last very long.
No, I think it was about 4 years. So
yeah, it's kind of the way, if you think about it, the way Alison would condense it all to make sure that none of the books were too long. I think there could have been more developed in the earlier stages of Katherine Parr's life. I think we could have got more out of that than we did at other points, if that makes sense.
Yeah, though I do think the bit where she was with Henry right through to obviously after he died and dealing with the repercussions afterwards.
Yeah,
I did think that was really interesting. So I'm kind of glad she did focus on that.
That was definitely a good bit. That was very good. I think in some ways Alison Weir did end the series on a high in the fact that to me this was a very good book. I think possibly maybe to me there was a bit too much of the stuff with John, her next husband.
Yeah, I think the second half was a lot stronger than the first star.
Yeah, definitely. James, you're apparently on Superstar 3 live shows. Yeah, I don't know how you're doing it. I've done 2 in 3 days, and that's killing me.
Yeah, well, I'm only on number 2 now. I've got third one tomorrow. It's
oh god, I'm on number 2 and I'm knackered. So I am well into it.
Until next Monday after that, I don't think. Have I?
Oh,
Charlie?
wow. Oh, haven't you got one? I've got one on Saturday for the Spoonies one. That's my next one on Saturday. So that's going to be exhausting. I think we're all going to be shattered by the end of all these lives. I'm not having any lives for a while.
We're going to miss them though. Once it all calms down, we'll miss them.
Was this book at least 100 pages too long like the others? No, it wasn't.
I think it was.
You think it was?
Yeah, I
I don't.
do.
Possibly, do you think that middle bit then? What bit would you have cut out 100 pages on? This is where it's gonna.
Yeah, just 100 pages from the first half, really. I think she,
Yeah.
just I don't think she needed to refer back to what was happening in court so much. It
Yeah,
just
that bit. Yeah, that bit with John. Yeah, that was a bit with
because
John and stuff.
Catherine wasn't at court, so I don't. It just felt like obviously she was trying to place us in time with, oh,
Mm,
Anne's now queen. Oh, Anne's not queen anymore. Oh,
mm.
Jane's queen. Oh, Jane's not
Oh,
queen
that was a
anymore.
bloody
And
repeat. That
and
was
I just,
repetitive.
yeah. Oh,
And
see,
then
I
say
quite
about the.
liked the religious stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with me it was the backwards and forwards bit that was getting annoying, and the fact that she was really telling John off at the time, John Neville, who was the second husband. Joan nodding at whatever he says or no. He says no. John's like, yeah, we're gonna have different opinions. Me and Joe have got similar opinions on this and so similar or not, haven't we? God, they're laughing at us. What are they like? They're supposed to be our friends as well, you know.
Oh, they love it. They love a bit
They
of
love us really.
dissension among the ranks.
But the thing is, like for me, like I think for me, I agree with you in the fact that the stuff with the religion and oh my God, hi Gemma and pink hand waving.
Hi, Flick. It's so lovely to
Hi,
have
Flick.
you.
Hiya, it's nice to
Flick's
have
been with us
you.
since the start too. We made it to the
Yes,
end.
we did it. But yeah, I think like there was that stuff that was going on. The John Neville stuff, I don't know why. He was the husband that I think he was the ones that she possibly fell more in love with, but he was
Agree.
sort of using her as a mother to his kids, I think. I think he cared for her as well. I think that was there was a lot more love there. Obviously there wasn't love between her and Edward. There just wasn't
Mm.
physically anyway. I think they cared for each other. They genuinely loved each other. I think with Henry, possibly we're going to go into more in the next bit, but I think it was more affection rather than love. And then
Yeah,
obviously
I
it
think
was
she had a lot of respect for what was his name? The second one?
John.
John.
John Neville, was it? John
Yeah,
Neville or John?
I think she had a lot of respect for him. I think they have mutual respect. And like you say, she was brought in to be like a stepmother type figure.
Mm.
And I think that really sort of made her come into her own as a person. I think she really enjoyed that, especially with the boy, where it was more of a challenge.
Oh God, yeah,
Um,
he was a right little shit in times, wasn't he?
yeah, and I think the way that she handled that was really commendable to her character, and that sort of set the tone for what she was like for the rest of the book, I think.
She had so much strength, and I think that was something that I think shone through for me throughout the whole book was the strength that she had for fighting for what she believed in.
Mm,
You know, I
yeah.
think she was a lot stronger than some of the other women. And yes, she was still pushed by her brother and her uncle, but it wasn't kind of, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think ultimately it was her decision to a degree.
Yeah, yeah. Not so much
Um,
with Henry, but with John, I think she
with
kind of
John, it
saw that.
definitely was her decision, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
101%. And she loved Margaret, her stepdaughter, her first stepdaughter. She
she did.
really loved her. That was so sweet. And obviously, what
Yeah.
happened to poor Margaret, that killed me. That absolutely killed me. That killed
Mm.
me more when she lost Margaret than what it did when she lost John, her second husband.
Yeah, I would concur.
But then I'm a
Yeah.
soppy git.
You are a soppy git.
We know this, yeah, definitely. She was a lot more intelligent than some of the others. She was very intelligent, like
She
101%.
was. And I think the way that she acted with Henry really showed that quite a lot, because in a lot of ways she was quite similar in her situation and circumstance to Catherine Howard, because she was in love with someone else. She'd sort of promised herself to
Yeah,
someone else.
yeah.
And then she had obviously gone off with Henry, and there was religious
Connotations and stuff, isn't there?
conflict, I suppose, between
Yeah.
Henry and her. But she handled it with a lot more poise and a lot more grace and a lot more
That was
sensitivity.
definitely, I think, her age came into place definitely in the end. I think
Yeah, I mean,
her age
obviously,
was
also she'd seen two wives lose
maturity.
their heads over it, so maybe she was just.
She wasn't stupid. She didn't want to lose her head. She didn't want to be.
She did not. I do wonder though if she would have had Henry lived longer. I do wonder.
Because she
She
was
was treading
getting
a fine
more.
line at the end there.
Oh, very close.
She was
Didn't she
making
nearly
some
get
enemies.
caught? She
Hmm?
nearly got caught. She nearly got caught at one point, didn't she? She got put in the
Yeah.
tower and she had to flag her way out of it.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting.
So I think had she been an earlier wife or had Henry lived longer, I think she may have ended up headless.
What? So what was it with this guy that he had so many women that were cheating on him? Like he was a bastard. Like was he a complete like they normally it's normally the women that are deemed being cheated on and all the other stuff. He was yeah, if he wanted anyone he got them, but bloody hell, he was getting cheated on left, right and centre.
Yeah, because people were forced to marry him when they didn't love him.
This is what marriage doesn't mean everything, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No, in those days, you were married. Well, all it was a piece of paper, you know.
Well,
Your
it
life
still is
didn't
now.
depend. Yeah, exactly. That's too right. But yeah, so we sort of like I think Henry obviously was the one that she got pushed into marriage. She kind of like when he was dying, when John was dying, that Henry somehow met her, and that was it. He fell for her straight away. He was another one. He literally saw someone, he wanted her. That was it. Got him, didn't he?
No, I do think that in this one he fell more for Catherine's intellect than anything else. I think he enjoyed the debates and the intelligent conversation, and I think
Which he
Alison
hadn't
Weirs,
had with Katherine Parr.
yeah, sort of put that across, sort of a changing in Henry's sort of perspective as well, that he didn't want just a pretty wife that was going to screw him over. He wanted someone he could have conversations with and spend time with.
Yeah, definitely. So, like saying, it seems like she was sailing close to wind at times regarding religion, but Henry mellowed towards the end. Maybe it's because he wanted someone to look after him. Could be, yeah, it could well be that he wanted. He
I
didn't
think
just
you're
go for
right.
looks at times.
Yeah.
He wanted more, didn't he?
He definitely grew up, but just too late.
He grew up when we're like, we've obviously grown up older. But yeah, it took him a while to kind of grasp what was important in life. And by then he'd already lost 5 wives.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, that was interesting. So yes, this is short and sweet in the fact that we're going into this next subject, but we've got to go into motherhood. So she didn't actually become physically a mother until the very end. And that was what killed her basically. She died of postpartum. She had, obviously postpartum. That was the pregnancy that killed her and the birth killed her. And she did have a hard one, but obviously before that she was a mum, effectively in all ways, to Margaret and John from her second marriage, and Elizabeth and Mary and Edward from her second, from Henry.
Yeah.
And she very much had a very close friend. I don't know how close she was to Edward. I don't think she got to have much to do with Edward because of what it was like back then, politics wise, and with the bloody Seymours being so strong-willed. But she really did love Margaret, and she fought for John, her first stepson, to the very end, didn't she? She really fought for him until her.
And I think she fought for Edward as well after Henry's death.
She really did try, didn't she?
Obviously,
yeah.
she did think that she was going to be the regent, but I think she genuinely wanted someone to be within Edward's sphere that actually cared about him. And I do think that Alison Ware portrayed it like that, yes, she did think that she should leave the country, and she was probably right, to be fair, given what happened.
She probably was, yeah, definitely. I think had the Seymours not had as much to do with it. It was Edward Seymour, wasn't it? That he was the eldest of the Seymours, and he was the one that had a lot of jurisdiction over court and stuff. And he sort of look after it, like Prince Edward.
So I do think that a lot of that came from a desire to protect Edward from like being a teen monarch, really, because no one else was going to look out for him in the way that she was going to look out for him. So I do think
she really wanted him safe.
Yeah.
But those Seymours, even though they made out in the Seymour book that they were sweet and innocent, they were absolute beebeeps, weren't they?
Oh yeah, the Seymours put the Boleyns to shame in the end.
Yeah, they were dangerous little buggers. Edward Seymour, and then obviously Thomas Seymour, the one that she
Yeah.
really loved.
Turned
She
out to be
really
a
loved.
bit of an
Cheating
arsehole.
bastard. Yes, but he wasn't just cheating. The age that Elizabeth was at when he was making moves on her was pretty towing the old
Paedophile.
line.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Even for Tudors, I would say that was
That
verging on paedophilia.
that scene where he rips her dress up and Catherine holds her down, holds Elizabeth down while she is ripping her dress, Elizabeth's dress. That broke me. I'm sorry. Broke me in the fact that it was emotional, but I was so angry as well. Like
Mm,
I thought, how
yeah.
could Catherine be a good step? That wasn't Catherine's best moment on being stepmother. Like that was complete cowhead. Sorry, but yeah, that was just not a good scene, was it?
No, I don't know. I think she was quite blinkered to what he was really like. I think deep down she knew and she didn't want to admit it to herself.
Yeah, definitely. But that was that scene.
But
Yeah, there's certain scenes,
eventually she did, didn't she? She sent Elizabeth away.
which was for Elizabeth's safety as well as Catherine's,
Yeah.
obviously. And that was
So
a
I think she
sensible
did
decision.
ultimately have her best interests in heart, but she wanted to believe that the husband that she'd wanted for all those years was the man that she'd fallen in love with, and he wasn't that man anymore.
Exactly. Like saying that was very disturbing. She didn't like it how Catherine was then. Yeah, I think it
Mm.
was a very disturbing. That was probably one of the most disturbing scenes of I think in some ways in all the books I think.
Mm.
But I think like she properly loved Mary, and that I think Mary had probably one of the best relationships with Katherine Parr, other than I think Anna Cleves. I think Mary had a good relationship with Anna Cleves. Um, but I think Katherine Parr was the only other one she really got on with. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I would agree. Which is interesting because weren't they both Protestant?
Yes, they were. No, Mary was Catholic.
No, I meant Catherine and Anna of Cleves.
Yes, yeah, they were the two Protestant ones, but actually they were the two that got. I think they were the two that understood Mary best and were probably more similar in age to Mary as well. So they didn't try and mother Mary; they tried to support her,
Mm.
and they were the two that got accepted because she didn't like, for obvious reasons, she hated Anne Boleyn.
Mm.
Jane Seymour, she didn't get much time with, although I think they were close to a certain extent. They didn't get very long, did they? Like no one got very long
No,
with Jane Seymour.
no. And
And then
Catherine Howard was just too young. Do you
yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean?
She was. It's worrying when you're younger, when you're older than your stepmother.
Yes. Mm.
Bit
That was
icky.
never going to work, was it?
No. But I love the relationship Catherine had with both Margaret and Elizabeth. They were the two that I think she tried to that she felt the most mothering with. Don't you think?
Yeah.
We're not going to make this too long because Gemma's definitely falling asleep.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't worry. Yeah, I think they were the two that she really felt mother, and she was a great mother to them, and she would have gone to the ends of the earth for them.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that was very much, very, very important. So, because we don't want this to be too long, let's go on to religion next. I'm checking my notes.
Yeah. So was it Lynn who mentioned it earlier? Because I quite like the religion side of things and like the religious tension side, and that was one of my criticisms, I think, of Anna of Clayfair, was that I didn't feel like it's explored that enough.
No, it didn't.
Whereas in this one, I do think we got quite a lot of it, particularly in the second half, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
I quite like the like religious and political intrigue side of
papist
things.
stuff as well. Yeah, like
So,
the way she was trying to protect her family and things. I think that was actually portrayed quite well. Like when she was with her second husband, and she knew what was going on in court, and she was like, "Please, just think about what you're doing."
yeah, the bit where her house gets invaded,
Ooh,
that was quite tense. I quite enjoyed that bit.
That was actually really good. That was like exciting, thrilling. We both really agree on this. I don't know if Alice is still here, but we both actually agree on that.
Yeah.
That was actually quite thrilling. That was actually quite good. And I think the way she handled the discussions with Henry, like she said her views, but she
Really
didn't
clever.
try and yeah, she didn't. She knew how to play Henry on that. She did know how to word it correctly and try and
Yeah,
save her
and
life.
she picked battles that she thought she could win, because my memory is a bit hazy, but there was that bit where they had a conversation about women being able to read the Bible. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
And he sort of compromised and said, well, they could, but only in the privacy of their own home and if they were educated. So she kind of managed to talk him down off some of the extremes of what his advisors were saying, and I thought that was pretty cool.
She was quite an early feminist, if you think about it. Quite very early on feminist. One of the earliest probably feminists actually that were around that we know about.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
back then it was dangerous to be a feminist. So
kind
of used religious, and she used her brains to kind of get somewhere.
Because in a lot of ways, Anne Boleyn was a feminist.
Yes, very much so. But Anne Boleyn was an interesting one.
She was probably too extreme for her time.
Yeah, just a little bit. So have you enjoyed, as much as we're glad that this is ending now, that this like Tudor has finished, do you find that you've learnt more from it, Gem?
Yeah, particularly about like the later queens. So Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn I knew quite a lot about before, but it was nice to spend some time with the other queens. But it was probably a mistake to read them in such quick succession for me personally. I need a bit more of a break between, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to read any more 6-book series for a while, because that was just like
it was
it was definitely exhausting. I think like same way I'm going to be doing my classics a bit differently next year, because I've read too many Dickens now, and I'm all Dickens out already, and I'm only like halfway through the year.
Yeah, no, there's no way I could do that. God almighty.
It's killing me off. It's killing me off, literally. But yeah, so I think we've done it. And the first 3 have way too much overlap, Alice is saying, and very.
I think that was true of all 6, actually.
Yeah, so much, because
yeah,
that wouldn't work. So let's rank, because we're not going to have this video being ridiculously long, which is like, yes, we wanted that tonight. So let's rank. I want to hear who was your least favourite, and we'll go that way. And I'll let you talk first.
Oh, I probably should have thought about this before we came on, but my least favourite was definitely Anne Boleyn from a book perspective.
I would agree with you on that, and I'm not even like, we've not discussed this. We haven't had any prep on this. So
yeah,
next
Anne would be at the bottom. Then probably Jane Seymour.
No, for me it's Catherine Howard.
Okay. Yeah, I think Catherine Howard would be in the next position for me, so 4th.
And then that's how we're swapped, because now it's Jane Seymour after that.
Yeah.
And then in your top 3, so yeah, the next one.
So yeah, 3rd would be Katherine Parr.
Okay, that for me is Anna of Cleaver.
Okay.
That was the 3rd, mate.
I think I'll put her next, 2nd, Anna of Cleaver.
And then 2nd for me is actually Katherine Parr. So we're both in agreement on our favourite book then.
Catherine of Aragon.
Yep, we're both in agreement on that. So she hasn't read all of them, but she can understand why people would have got bored with them being so quickly. Yeah, that was definitely. Books of many. Hi, ladies, having fun. I'll have fun. Hiya. Hiya. So Alice, favourite Queen book was Jane Seymour, and favourite audio book was Anna of Cleaver. Oh, that's interesting.
I did think Anna's Cleaver was really interesting.
So obviously Anna, she didn't read the last 2, so Catherine of Aragon was the 2nd for her. Oh, that's good. See, I think Catherine of Aragon did really well. She was definitely the most interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think I already had a soft spot for her, though. I don't know. I still prefer the Philippa Gregory version.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Yeah, I still prefer the Philippa Gregory version of Catherine of Aragon.
Yes, definitely.
And I think maybe that's sort of like rose tinted the first book of Alison Ware's series for me as well, because I fell in love with Catherine of Aragon through Philippa Gregory. So
Yeah, I definitely need to find some. I need to look into what more books Catherine or Philippa Gregory that we're cheating on us with is putting out at the moment. I've already reading her Tidelands books, but the Tidelands series again, so I need to find out what else she's putting out. If she'll put any more Tudor out. Only problem with Catherine of Aragon book, it was so long. Yes, I think that was the longest book, wasn't it?
I think it was. It was really long.
Okay.
And it goes back to what we said, you know, I know you don't completely agree, but I do think that if she'd cut out some of the repetition, particularly in the later books, they could have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, the repetition was not needed. That was why she was like a lot of waiting, but she did think editing would have been.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
yeah, if she would have actually had a bit more time, if she would have done it a bit differently. I think that's
Yeah.
what's like. This is why another reason why I'm not rushing for Henry and the Crown, especially seeing as like Lynn said that it wasn't like it was more repetitive, and it's like, oh, okay, I can definitely wait. This is definitely pushing me into waiting into it.
Yeah. I think it'll be a nice one to go to in a couple of years' time, once like the details have fuzzed a bit and you can go back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that now. But going straight into it, I'd just be like, yeah, I already know that. I read that like 2 books ago.
See, I'm feeling guilty because I'd asked for the Elizabeth of York book for my birthday, and I'm like, I know now I'm not going to want to read it until at least at the end of the year, if not the start of next year.
That's all right.
It's there. It's there. It's on the shelves. It's just like, oh my goodness. Elizabeth Fremantle is a great author for Tudor books, and she's reading.
Oh, I've never heard of Elizabeth Fremantle.
Oh, and Julie says that the Henry book is good. Oh, well, it may well be good. I'm looking forward to trying it, but I will definitely think that it will be waiting for a while. Repetition will be good if you want to read it. Oh, remind you what happened before.
Yes.
Where has definitely done the research, but she didn't need to pack it all in. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with both of those comments.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you say, Alice, you know, at the beginning of this, we were quite interested in Henry's perspective, and I still am, but I just need a break from.
Yeah, definitely. I've got another Tudor Queen book somewhere, another non-fiction book by Alison somewhere, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna wait. I was like, I'm gonna read like June or July, and now I'm going, yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait. I'm definitely. I think even my Jean Clady books that I've got, I think I'm just gonna wait. I think I'm gonna read. I'm gonna go on a Bridgerton binge, which is nothing that you like, Jem, but I'm just gonna go Bridgerton binge because that's gonna cheer me up.
Yeah, not my jam, mate.
The opposite. No, it's completely the opposite, but it's that smut that I need. After reading a lot of intelligent books, I need some smut, girls. I need smuts. I need something that's not going to require my brain cells to work. I've definitely used a lot of. I've got like I said, I've got a book about John of Gaunt's wife, Catherine Swynford, that I'm reading in June, and that'll be interesting because it'll be a non-fiction, but on someone different in history, and that's for pre-Tudor. So I'm hoping that pre-Tudor is going to be all right. It's going to be a safe place to go.
I still have the rest of the Wolf Hall trilogy to read. I've only read the first one. And I would like to get to those. And I feel like Hilary Mantel tells the story in quite a different way. So possibly
very, very different.
If I might bring up the bodies towards the end of the year.
Julie's saying it needs a break from the genre, yeah. And
yeah.
The new Queen Charlotte books were good. Oh, the new British Queen Charlotte book. Oh, I'm definitely going to try that at some point. Yeah, definitely want to. I've seen that on Netflix. I want that. But I think I would say the second in the that series is Bring Up the Bodies is a really good one.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it's the strongest of the trilogy.
Yeah, definitely. I think you would definitely like that. I think you would be scared off The Mirror and the Light because it's so bloody big.
I know. I do own it though.
How big is a beautiful copy of it? Like it's freaking
quite large.
Yeah, I've got that copy. It's absolutely massive.
So yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one to put on my big books video that Alice is.
It was on mine. It was on. That's why it's here. I've got it with my other
that's
big
good.
monkey.
Alice has got it that she needs to get to Miller and Bring Up the Bodies. Bring Up the Bodies is amazing. It's the best book in the series. The first two Walpole books are the best. Yeah, I think 100%. The Mirror and the Light is good, but it's bloody draining. And it will be good to try. Like I said, I will say I like Jean Paley's books. Julie got me into Jean Paley's Tudor books. They're actually quite good. They're very different from Alison Weir and even Philippa Gregory, but they're quite good.
Yeah, I think I do have a Jean Paley on my Kindle. I don't know if it's a Tudor one. She writes a few historical fictions, I think, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She does. She's actually quite good, though. I will say that she's quite good, and they're very easy to read and very fast paced. Very good. So that's another good one. So definitely, I definitely think that's another way to go, and it's good to like look into different authors and stuff and look into. But in general, I'm definitely Tudored out. I think I'm not going to be looking at them all for this one.
No.
I think I'm just going to break. But it has been good to do the reads on. Yeah, I think that's another thing. We'll all look up these great Tudor books after this, but I think we all need a little break from the Tudors.
Yeah.
And
no, but it has been lovely. It has been. It's been a real experience.
Julie's got many suggestions. I bet you have just suggestions on smart books, Julie. That doesn't surprise me. But it has been good doing our reads on, and we want to thank everyone that has participated, whether you've done 1, 2, or however many books. Yes. Thank you for joining us and doing it with us. We did it, Gem. We did it.
We did it. We won't be doing another 6-booker anytime soon.
Yeah, no way. I think we're. And Lynn says thank you for organising the reads on and hosting the chats. I'm sure. I think. Wait. I don't think we're going to be having any. I'm not going to be hosting any more chats for a while. But I think I've got my Spooneys. You've still got your Woman's Prize, but maybe the book Waffle Girls and us. We said we might do some lives at some point, but give you guys a break after your Floodlong stuff. And I'm getting someone knocking on my door. Night, Thomas. Oh, you're not gone to bed. Sorry, it looks like I'm going to have to go, guys, because I've got to put my little one to bed. But if you like this video, give us all a thumbs up and subscribe to me and Gemma.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to load the chat now. Bye.